They're full wide. Green flag, showtime. Do not slow down. Those are green.
All right, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another night of On the Pole Racing here. Hopefully we got audio. Not sure if we do. We're going to check that out here to make sure. Does not look like we do. There we go. Now we have audio. And we'll see how this works here. Trying to get this adjusted right. We've been having some issues with audio. So trying to make sure that we get it situated right. Practice still going on here for the 358 big blocks. Brought to you by the Freedom Motors, Full Throttle Motorsports. As you're watching there, Christopherson there in the 51. Arrow Clump trying to just make sure we got everything situated. See, make sure. Try to make sure we got everything situated here. Here for Thursday Night Thunder. Down here in the corner number 1, qualifying underway for that number 2, Harold Clump, currently your fastest. He's got a 12.660. Great, the SDK is not found. But it is on your end, so that means it's on my end, so give me a moment. Hopefully the mic is working. Let me know in the comments if it is not. It sounds like it's working here as I'm listening here on my phone to the broadcast to make sure everything's up and up. Heat number 1. Our qualifying still taking place here. As checkered flag, we'll bring that to a close. Heat number 1 taken to the track. It's going to be Dean Reynolds. Brian Dickens there in second. William Watson there third. Sam Bachman fourth. Mike Wida there fifth. Kurt Schatzer sixth. John Dubai there seventh. Clay Christopherson there eighth. Kelly Wheeler there in ninth. That is going to be your heat number 1 here tonight. To start us off our Thursday Night Thunder. As we're here at Fairbury, I believe. Yeah, Fairbury. Down here off of corner number 1 they go, down around onto the backstretch. 79 there, Dean Reynolds going to get up there, trying to get a good start. Brian Dickens there in the 122 up there on the high side, trying to get his self worked up there. Sam Bachman in that 007 works down here in the corner number 2. Here with 7 laps to go in heat number 1, side by side, almost 3 wide there at that 88. Or I'm sorry, the 218 there of Kurt Schatzer tries to get into the bottom of the action there. Or no, I'm wrong. That must be a 66 I'm looking at. Yeah, 66, not 88, sorry. There up Mike Wida. 3 wide there with Christopherson and Schatzer. Schatzer sliding it way up there to the top side, trying to get some good grip off the top. Wheeler out of this one right as it stands right now. Wida says he's crashed, but has not. He's still out there running. And you see that 122. There's the 007. William Watson there in the 23. Coming there off of 4. 3 laps to go. Soon to be 2. As they work down here out of... Where are we? Four wide there. Final lap. Okay, now I understand. We're watching from the back stretch here. So coming out of 2, back down that back straightaway, into 3 and 4. You got William Watson up there in that 23. He's going to pull it up there. Unofficial results has Dean Reynolds as your winner. Won't check that here. There we go. Dean Reynolds out there in front. Brian Dickens second. Clay Christopherson third. Kurt Schatzer fourth. Sam Bachman fifth. William Watson there sixth. Mike Wida in seventh. John Dubai in eighth. Kelly Wheeler there in ninth. And there we go on here to heat number 2, our grid. Jason Butterfield out there in front. Brandon Templeton there second. Trevor Garou there third. Harold Klump there fourth. Barry Wallace there in fifth. Mason Hine in sixth. David Tomansky there in seventh with Jeff Barker in eighth. That is your starting grid there for heat number 2. And work here off corner 2, back down through the backstretch here. We've got to watch them here. They take off out of 4. Down that front straightaway, they're down and away. In the corner, number 1 they go, side by side, back out here onto the backstretch of the Speedway. As that number 2, Harold Klump, got a new paint scheme here for this week. He spelled out the word 2 instead of having a number there on the car. So kind of interesting there on that one. As the 93, Jason Butterfield has the lead right now. coming down there in the 3 and 4, back around onto the front straightaway. You got the 31 there of Brandon Templeton up there on the top side, really ripping it, trying to get that speed and momentum off the top side. And sometimes that'll work, sometimes it does not. The 75 there of Trevor Guru jumps up there in that 75T, trying to gather it up. Here in the corner number 3 and 4, 5 laps to go. 4 laps to go now. They cross the stripe in the corner number 1. Back out here onto the backstretch. Jason Butterfield, your leader. Trevor Guru up there in the 75T, trying to get that thing rolling away. Down here in the corner number 1. Back off of 2. Jason Butterfield still hanging on. Harold Clumpto's battling there for 3rd alongside Brandon Templeton. As Templeton's down there on the bottom side trying to pull that along the best he possibly can. As they work here off of 4, back down across the stripe. It is now final lap there for Jason Butterfield. Trevor Guru there in 2nd. Harold Klump still battling with Brandon Templeton for that 3rd spot. As they come there off the corner of Trevor Guru, trying to get way down there on the bottom side. Hangs with the leader, cannot get anywhere near him though. As they come there across the stripe. Jason Butterfield is your winner. Brandon Templeton does hold off Harold Klump for 3rd. Results for heat number 2. Jason Butterfield, Trevor Guru, Brandon Templeton, Harold Klump, Mason Hine, Jeff Barker there in 6th, Barry Wallace in 7th, and David Tomiansky there in 8th. We'll be back after a short message. And these drivers warming up here for the 358s.
These dollars that come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us, we wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and led to the spinal cord injury. In the hospital 8 months, and it got really, really expensive, so having that extra help that helped push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash, found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken, I had 2 cracked vertebrae in my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday I got to 10 laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in the race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
All right, we're back here at the Speedway. Getting ready for the main event here tonight. Here we go, getting ready. Let's see if we can get the grid up here real fast. Dean Reynolds will start. Jason Butterfield second. Brian Dixon third. Trevor Guru there in fourth. Clay Verstappen fifth. Brandon Templeton there sixth. Kurt Schatzer seventh. Harold Klump eighth. Sam Bachman ninth. Mason Hine there 10th. William Watson there 11th. Jeff Barker 12th. 13th will start Mike Weeda. 14th Barry Wallace. John Dubai 15th. David Kromansky there in 16th. And Kelly Wheeler will start there in 17th. That is your grid. Coming to the green flag. You're down and away. Down here in the corner number 1. They will go as that loud pedal gets hit in the corner number 1. Dean Reynolds down there on the bottom side fighting it out, trying to make sure that he stays out there in the lead. They drive a work around Fairbury here tonight. Down here off the corner they go. Now they're up there, lap 2 of the 30. They're watching there, the 2 of Harold Klump, the 31 of Brandon Templeton. Those two battling it out in the heat. Now they're battling it out here in the feature. And they come back off of 2 down through the back stretch here in the corner number 3. You got the 218 of Kurt Schatzer and the 89 Mason Hine battling it out. As you see that 23 of William Watson up there on the top side as well as they whirl down here in the corner number 3 and 4. Back out there onto the front stretch they go, back in the corner number 1 and 2. Out onto the back stretch. Here they go side by side. 3 wide almost as the 75T there of Trevor Guru gets up there and he ends up putting one. Oh no, that one's up into the wall. That's Jason Butterfield. He is up into the fence. There we go now, watching here off of corner number 2 here when they get back around here. As you see them coming there through 3 and 4. Heading back up there, they get together up there on the top side. The 93 ends up into the outside wall. Up there against the outside wall, caution will come out. Luckily, he was able to get it down off the wall. So here, something about Tomansky. Permisky. All right, so you had 33 there. Tomaski. Yeah, I just had to check it up there. Not enough there to give it mark. Working here off the corner, you're looking there at the 210. Barry Wallace. '93, Jason Butterfield backer at the back. Here they go off the start now for the restart. 24 laps to go. Harold Klump down there on the inside. Here comes that 75T of Trevor Guru up through the field. I see them all battling. Brandon Templeton still wanting to stay on that top side. Not sure if that's going to prevail or not, but we'll see as the race progresses here. As he's got himself up there in the 3rd. Brian Dickens there in 2nd. Look out, the 23 of William Watson's coming up there through the middle of the field. Right through the middle of cars, splitting them right in the middle of the turns they go. At 23, William Watson's up to 5th now. He started down 6 positions lower than that. Ahead here through the backstretch in the corner, number 3 and 4 back out onto the front stretch, side by side here. And we have one up and over. That'll be trying to see who that purple machine was. Dean Reynolds, possibly. We got him working here. You'll watch him come here off of 2. Back straight away in the corner, number 3. Up there against that outside wall. And up just getting slid up a little bit and up into that opening. Chris Starpson gets into him. As Dean Reynolds is broke. That car not going anywhere. The front end is smashed up on that machine. Tough break there for Reynolds. Want to thank everybody that's come out to watch us here on the iRacing, on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. And I noticed that we're missing our grid over, or our ticker over there, so we'll get that fixed right now. We got 20 laps to go here in the feature event as they work here off the corner, down here in the corner, number 3 and 4, side by side there. The 89 way down there on the bottom side. You got the 2, Harold Klump there in the middle. Whoa, the 122 way sideways. Ends up spinning it around there down there on the bottom side. And now he'll be stuck. Let's see if we can get this working here under caution. There we go, it's back. Oh, under caution once again here. Single file for the restart, most likely. Trying to get some laps in here, so he'll switch it to single file restart. Pace car pulls off. They're getting ready for the start. Here goes Brandon Templeton out there in front. William Watson there in second. Down through the back stretch they go, or through the front stretch they go down here into corner number 1. Yellow flag already out. Mike Weeda having issues back here. Looks like they went to go and then they checked up. As you see them here, they were going at an okay pace. And then some sort of accordion happened. Oh, the 66 went early. He didn't wait for the car in front of him to go. All right, down here through the corner. "17 laps to go. They work here off the corner. Oh. Caution flag back out. It's time for John Dubai. I see him up there in the outside wall and at number 21. They dive it on down here, trying to make it through the corner. And just slides it up right into the side of Dean Reynolds, ends up facing the wrong way. Now bring out our next caution. Here we go, into the corner. William Watson there in second. Trevor Garou there third. Kurt Schatzer fourth. Harold Klump there fifth. Hang on down through off the corner. Jason Butterfield there sixth. Mason Hine there in sixth. Now it's down to eighth. Now in seventh. They're in that number 89, trying to get things worked out. There you see the 75 key of Trevor Garou working up here on that high side. The 218 of Kurt Schatzer up there along the top side as well. Working down here in the corner number 1 and 2. And they work down the back stretch at 218. Kurt Schatzer up there on the high side. The 2 of Harold Klump down on the inside. These two battling it out for that 4th and 5th positions. Everybody else up front kind of single file at the moment. With Templeton and Watson up here 1-2. 8 laps to go here in the main event for the 358. There you see Trevor Garou there in third. Schatzer in fourth. Harold Klump fifth as they roll down across the stripe. Down here in the corner number 1. William Watson out there in front. Now as he got around Brandon Templeton, Trevor Garou there in third. That too, Harold Klump bouncing quite a bit down there on the bottom side of the speedway. Got to kind of watch that bounces. Those bounces aren't going to help you keep that car connected to the track. And it may slow you down a little bit. As you see William Watson up there towards the top side. Templeton there in second. Garou there third. Schatzer there fourth. As they work here off the corner. Barry Wallace crashed. Not sure exactly what happened to Wallace as he's in the pits in that number 210. The 23, William Watson out there in front. Trevor Garou there third. Harold Klump there fourth. Kurt Schatzer there in fourth. Now is Harold Klump down there on the bottom side. 3 laps to go as they work here off of turn number 2. Down the back stretch here into corner number 3 and 4. Back out there onto the front straightaway across the stripe they go. You got Harold Klump there in fifth. William Watson hanging on to the lead. Templeton there in the second, trying to get that bottom side to work. And Garou's coming there off final lap. Garou is up top. Will Garou have a chance here? I don't know. As they roll here through 3 and 4. He's got that thing way up there against that outside wall. Coming there off the corner, not enough. And the unofficial results will soon come in. Here for the feature event. Here's your winners. William Watson gonna get the win here in the 358s. Brandon Templeton there second. Trevor Garou there third. Kurt Schatzer fourth. Harold Klump fifth. Clay Christopherson there sixth. Mason Hine seventh. Dean Reynolds there eighth. Jason Butterfield 9th, Sam Bachman 10th, Mike Weida there in 11th, John Dubai 12th, David Tomaski there in 13th, Barry Wallace 14th, Brian Dickens 15th, Chip Barker 16th, Kelly Wheeler in 18th. And that is going to be your finish results here for the 358s. Now we'll go down trackside, see if we can get with our winners. Starting with our third place finisher. Oops. Starting with our third place finisher in the 358. Gonna be Trevor Garou. Good evening there, Trevor. How's it going?
Good, yourself?
It's going well. How's that track out there? It looked a little slick there towards the end.
Yeah, top was definitely getting pretty thin. You saw guys kind of trying the middle there just to find some grip. But yeah, I mean, top was definitely getting thin. It was getting hard to run there. If you didn't hit it perfect, you were clobbering the wall. So it made for some interesting racing.
Well, I mean, you definitely look good out there in that 75T tonight out of Chatham, Ontario. I mean, car looked like it handled well, even though that you were up there in that thin stuff up there on the top side of the speedway.
Yeah, that's where I'm most comfortable. Even when there's nothing there, that's kind of where I like to run. So, you know, when the track's hammered down, I'll run middle and bottom. But when it gets slick, I just feel most comfortable up top, and that's where it was fast tonight. So that's definitely where you wanted to be. But yeah, car felt good. I felt good. Definitely felt like we had a fast car all the way from qualifying to heat race to the feature. So hopefully take this momentum into the big blocks and see what we can do there.
All right, you got sponsors, shout-outs, anybody you want to thank for getting the win here, the third place finish here in the 358s tonight?
Yeah, just give a shout-out to all the guys at FTM. JRB Designs for this wrap. Vertex Graphics for sponsoring us over at FTM. Castleberry Flagstone Expert Installation, Samaconda Sets, Swan Speed Shop, LDS, you for putting on the broadcast, everybody at Coast to Coast for putting this stuff on for us. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Alrighty, well, congrats getting that third place, and we'll see what you got coming forth in the big blocks then.
Yes, sir. One thing I do want to say, I want to apologize to Brian Dickens. I did not mean to spin him out there. We were just kind of fighting for the same lane, and I don't know if he hit the brakes or slowed down quite a bit, and I just got into his left rear quarter and spun him. So I just want to apologize. Thanks, Leaguer.
No problem. We'll see what you have to offer coming here in the big blocks. All right, that was second place finisher. Third place finisher, Trevor Garou. Now we'll get Brandon Templeton, our second place finisher. Good evening there, Brandon. How's it going?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
It's going well. I noticed you were trying to fight there to keep up front there. You did a good job staying in second. I'm sure it looked like you were really hoping to try to get for that win here tonight.
Yeah, it was just real hard racing on a short, tight track with traffic, a lot of action, little bumping here and there. I know Dean kind of flew up to the high side to try to take that away from me, and I went low and got into him on exit. I didn't realize he had that big of a run, so apologies to him. And then, Watson and I were trading sliders there a little bit, and I kind of ate one on the left front, but it was a good race overall. We'll take it.
I mean, you did a great job out there, and car looked great.
Yeah, there was good momentum on the high side. It was just a matter of, keeping it out of the wall up there, and on the bottom, same thing. As low as you can get to the tires without getting over the bump in four, pretty much was the deal. But it was a good race.
Good race after all, and can't wait to see what you got going here into the big blocks. You got sponsors, shout-outs, anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, I gotta thank the guys at FTM for sponsoring tonight's races for the stream, and thank you for doing the stream. It's pretty good to watch back. Thanks Flager Farms and me for doing it. Thanks Coast to Coast for putting on good racing. Jay with Dirt Track Bank, everybody at Hammer Down Racing, Stream Images, Melee Makery, Big C's Lawn Care. Thanks.
All right, well, we'll see what you got in the big blocks coming up. Have fun and good luck. All right, now we're getting with William Watson, our winner here tonight. Good evening here, William. How's it going?
Pretty good, about you?
I'm doing pretty good. How's that 23 full throttle motorsports car feeling?
It's feeling great. The car was on rails, put it anywhere, so all you can ask for, really.
Well, you were running a great race there, and what kind of take us through how the track changes affected your racing line here tonight.
I was there the long period, and the highline, as long as you keep that wall working, I found out working base that the cut is coming in. So it's a couple of times, there's one time last week, just to the side, so that washes up, and it's just not track promotion. So I was curious to get to that side, so I knew on that one, and that thing was pretty much the all race. That's how I caught the temperature, and then I just did research there. Like I said, it took it like now I was working with and I did that slot, and then made the red into the window.
All right, well, you did a great job there getting the win here. You got sponsor shout-outs anybody you want to thank? You there, William?
You did a great job there getting the win here. You got a sponsor shout-out there, they want to thank. Okay, very good. I got sponsors, Team AZFTN, Sponsor Shops, Forum, ScoopX.com, the Very Car Series, DLR.
All right, well, we'll get with him after. We'll see him running the big blocks here in just a few moments. So good luck to Watson as we get set to rock and roll for the big blocks. So stay tuned. We'll be back here at Coast to Coast Racing Network and Flicker Farm TV here in just a moment.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a bit of a
hiatus. So let's get. Right when we talked about it.
All right, here we go. Alrighty.
Outpouring of love. These dollars that come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them for others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. In the hospital 8 months, and it got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU for a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists. But it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
Alright, we're back here at the Speedway. A driver gets set. For the big blocks. I got 6 of them here. Wait to see if we get any more. We got Trevor Guru out there in the 075 or the 75T. Butterfield in the 93. William Watson in the number 23. Harold Klump in the 2. Dean Reynolds in the 79. And Sam Bachman still sitting in the pits in that 007. Flag waves here. We're getting set and ready to rock and roll with qualifying. Qualifying commences. We got 6 drivers here, as we said. We got just under a minute 40 here to go and make their laps worth it. Down here through the bottom of 2, out here onto the back stretch. And the corner number 3 and 4 are out onto the back stretch now. I'm sorry, onto the front stretch. That's at number 2, Harold Klump, really trying to put forth a workout here. William Watson up there in front. Trevor Drew there second. Dean Reynolds here in 4th. Jason Butterfield here 5th. Watson as your quickest right now with a 12.210. Your winner from your 358 coming out here showing how it's done in the big block. Everybody has qualified. Now just waiting here. For the drivers to show up for their heat race. All right, here we go. Soon they'll take to the grid. And here we go, your grid here tonight. Harold Klump out there in front. Sam Bachman there second. Trevor Guru there third. William Watson there fourth. Dean Reynolds there fifth. Jason Butterfield there in sixth. They get things situated to go around the rack here. And see him coming down here out of the corner. Getting ready for a green flag. They are down away at 007 there of Sam Bachman. Great paint job there on that machine here tonight. Showing off a little bit different one there in that 007. Head down here in the corner number one. Oh no! Sam Bachman puts it up and over. That'll bring out caution number one. Well, no, that won't bring out a caution. There's no cautions in the heat. Harold Klump as your leader here in your heat race. Down here across the back. 6 laps to go around here, turn number 3 and 4. Trevor Guru fighting down there on the bottom side in that 75T as they work here off the back. In the corner number 3. Trevor Guru down there on the bottom side, really getting that thing to go down there and gets that lead. Once again, now he goes back up towards the top side. Here comes Harold Klump back around on the bottom side. They battle it there off the corner. Watson now up there in the second. Harold Klump battling for second there on the bottom side. 3 to go here in the corner number 3. Out here across the stripe, Trevor Guru still your leader as you've got Watson there in second. Harold Klump there third. Watson up there in... Watson now up in second as Klump falls back to third. And they got final lap on the board now for Trevor Guru in that number 75T. William Watson coming back down here in the corner number 3 and 4, getting that thing bouncing a little bit. Harold Klump there in third. And they roll off here into the next corner. Unofficial results coming in here for your heat number 1. Alright, so here we go. Your heat 1 result. Trevor Guru gets the win. William Watson second. Harold Klump third. Dean Reynolds fourth. Jason Butterfield fifth. Sam Bachman sixth. We'll be back in just a short message. I got to run to the concession and get myself a drink.
these dollars that come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. In the hospital 8 months, and it got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday I got to spin laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
All right, here we go. Your starting grid from RSN trackside. Going to be Trevor Guru starting out there on pole. William Watson second. Harold Klump third. Dean Reynolds fourth. Jason Butterfield there fifth. Sam Bachman there in sixth. That is your starting lineup for your feature here tonight. 30 laps of distance as they head on out here to get ready for their main event. These drivers should be excited to see what they can pull off. There's only 6 of them here, so it should be a good, clean race. Bachman not having the start to the night he was hoping here in the big blocks, as he ended up rolling it up and over during the heat race. Got that car back together and running again. As they come back down here through the back stretch, Fred pulls that pace car off on the inside. Here they go! Off up turn number 4. Side by side. Watson wanting to get that run off the top side if he can. Cannot quite get the run he was looking for, but he does storm through turn 1 and 2. Guys, there you see Trevor Guru in that 75T. Hangs it out there. Harold Klump got a run there on the bottom side as they come down here into corner number 3 and 1 and 2, down through the backstretch. Trevor Guru out front. Sam Bachman there in 6 as he tries to battle it out there. There you see Dean Reynolds and Harold Klump going at it. That's for 3rd. William Watson battling up there for 1st. Up there with Trevor Guru in that number 75T. Down there off the corner, there comes that 79 of Dean Reynolds as they work there off the backstretch here into corner number 3. That 93 of Jason Butterfield's trying to find a way to get up there. Trevor Guru up there in front. William Watson there 2nd. Harold Klump there 3rd. Dean Reynolds there 4th. Now up to 3rd. As he's trying to get around Harold Klump. You got the 93 there also trying to get around of Jason Butterfield. Butterfield ended up falling back into 6th for the moment. And he's down there on the bottom side trying to hang on. That 007 of Sam Bachman's up there at the top side as well. He's got up there in the 4th. And here comes Dean Reynolds. William Watson there in 2nd. Still chasing down that 75C of Trevor Guru. Down here in the corner number 1 and 2. 23 laps to go. Looking there at Dean Reynolds as he heads off the corner down here in the corner number 3. Dean Reynolds there in 3rd. Watson there 2nd. Trevor Guru there in front. 22 laps to go for Thursday Night Thunder. This series brought to you by Full Throttle Motorsports. There you see it up in the top right corner, the FTM Dirt Modified Series here with the big blocks. We watched the 358s here just prior to this. Now, when they run the big blocks, drivers do have the ability to bring out the 358 if they so choose, but lots of times I see drivers sticking with the big blocks. If they have the chance to run the big block, that's what they're going to run, is the big block. Trevor Guru out front in that 75T. Watson there in second. Dean Reynolds third with Sam Bachman fourth. Jason Butterfield there fifth. Harold Klump there sixth. They roll back down the backstretch here back in the corner number 1 and 2. Trevor Guru there, as I said, out there in front. William Watson there in second. Dean Reynolds third. Sam Bachman fourth. Jason Butterfield there in fifth as they headed on down through off the corner. The 8 drivers still hanging out there. 17 laps to go. With Trevor Guru, your leader. Sam Bachman back here in at 007 trying to catch Dean Reynolds in that number 79. Not a whole lot of drivers here in the late part of the season here. We only got 6 show up tonight here with the here tonight for the Thursday Night Thunder of Coast to Coast. Down here through the backstretch in the corner number 1 and 2. That 007 of Bachman there in fourth with Dean Reynolds there third. The 93, Jason Butterfield down there on the bottom side. And work here off the backstretch in the corner number 1. Well, through 3 and 4. Back out here across the stripe down in the corner number 1. 13 laps to go for these drivers. They hang it on out here. Down here in the corner number 3 and 4. Back out there around on the speedway. Trevor Guru down there on the outside. Well, here we're looking at Dean Reynolds and Sam Bachman. Dean Reynolds running the outside. Same with Trevor Guru. William Watson there in second, just trying to figure a way to get that momentum to get up there to Trevor Guru. He's going to probably end up settling there for second, as they can't quite beat the time there. 10 laps to go here in the feature event of the big blocks. William Watson second, Dean Reynolds third, but he's got company down there with Sam Bachman on the inside. Can Bachman try to pull it off as Dean gets the run there off at corner number 4. Sam Bachman down there on the bottom side is going to try to get that run into corner number 3. Gets there. Can he keep it going? Looks like he will. Is he going to slide up? He does slide up there in front of Dean. Dean now drops down there to the inside. Here comes Bachman now back on the outside. These two flip-flopping positions there. As now Bachman tries to hang on there ahead of Dean Reynolds. Dean though on the bottom side. Trying to get that bottom side to work for him there. As you see that 93, Jason Butterfield there as well. He got 7 laps to go. Bachman coming off at corner number 4, back down into corner number 1. Reynolds down there to the inside. Watson still following there behind Trevor Guru. Trevor Guru there out front. Bachman there on the bottom side Reynolds ends up getting a piece of an inside tire, it looks like here as they work off the corner. And now they're going to go 3 wide, maybe there with the 93 of Jason Butterfield down there on the bottom side. So the FTM machine of Dean Reynolds has to be careful. 4 laps to go here for Trevor Guru as he works here off of turn 4. 3 laps to go as he heads into corner number 1. Looking here, Dean Reynolds, as he tries to hold off the 93 of Jason Butterfield, but he yet try to catch that spot of Sam Bachman. Bachman's up there in 3rd. 2 laps to go for Trevor Guru, with Watson nipping at his heels. It doesn't seem like Watson has enough momentum to get up there and make a move. Now he tries to get a run there down into corner number 1 and 2. Can he make something stick here? Off the back, they get together down here into corner number 3. That 23 Watson's trying all he's got, cannot get there. He gets second here in the big blocks. There you see Trevor Guru coming around there, parking it there on the stretch. Great job here. We'll get with leaders and winners here in just a moment. Sam Bachman getting third here in the big block mods. I don't see Bachman yet, so we'll go and get with Watson, our second place finisher. Good evening, Watson. Not a whole lot. Well, you didn't quite pull off the win. You were nipping at Guru's heels the whole time. Just unfortunately did not quite have the momentum or the line needed to get up there to get the pass on him.
Yeah, I mean, Trevor's fast, you know, I was trying to put on a show at the same time and couldn't get by. I got a couple runs there, and then the next corner, the same run wouldn't stick, so I didn't understand it, but I was throwing it in really deep, trying to get that cut down. It worked a couple times, and like I said, sometimes it didn't. I tried to bump him right there in that last lap, get up underneath him. He was able to hold it down there. It was a fun race.
Well, great job trying it nonetheless, and pulled off a second place here tonight. You got sponsor shout-out to anybody you want to thank here for getting second in the big blocks?
Yeah, teammates at FDM, Swansby Shops, Duper Performance, ScrewPacks.com, Dean Dirt Car Series, VLR for the wraps and sponsoring the team, Shaggy TV, Coast to Coast Racing, and you for streaming.
Alrighty, well, congrats there, getting that second place tonight. And are you running the Pro Late models?
Yeah, we're on.
Alrighty, well, good luck, and we'll see you there.
Alright, thank you.
So that was Watson. Now we'll get with Bachman, our third place finisher, as I see we can finally come around and where we can get him. Hey there, Sam, how's it going?
Oh, going pretty good.
Tough race out there, it seemed.
Oh, yeah, me and Dean were having a pretty good battle. I was trying to get the bottom to work a little earlier in the race, and it wasn't there yet, so I went back up top, followed Dean around for a little bit, and then looked up in my mirror, seen Butters coming, so I figured probably the bottom was a little bit quicker now, so I went down there and finally got by Dean, and then I went back up top and made a mistake. Probably shouldn't have went up top, should have just hugged the bottom or whatever, but then me and Dean were kind of side by side the rest of the race until probably 5 to go.
Yeah, I mean, you did a great job of pushing it. You had to start towards the back for your incidents there in the heat race.
Oh yeah, it wasn't too bad. I mean, car felt pretty good. I just felt like they were just out too far and kind of maybe needed a caution if I could have had anything for William and Trevor there.
Well, great job there for that third place. You got sponsor shots. Anybody you want to thank?
Oh yeah, the boys over at FTM, Gunner at Swan Speed Shop. He's really been working hard on the dig for us. Dean over at Super Dirt Car Series, Expert Installation. Obviously, you Flieger for doing the broadcast, Coast to Coast, and Vertex Graphics.
All right, well, congrats there, and we'll see what's what. Are you coming out for the Pro Late models?
I might.
You might. All right. Well, we'll see how it goes for you.
All right, it's all good.
All right, now we'll get with our winner here. Trevor Guru. Good evening, Trevor. How's it going?
Good, yourself?
It's going fairly well. Let's put that 75T up there on the victory lane this time.
Yes, sir. Car felt great tonight, and it was good racing with my teammate there.
Well, kind of take us through. How'd that track feel here tonight? Was it any slicker than the 358s?
No, it was definitely a lot more gripped up. I mean, we just didn't have as much time to burn it in, and had a lot less cars, so it was definitely more grippy. And the top here, honestly, I like it more when it's a little bit slicked off, as opposed to when it's gripped up. So just kind of had to get used to it and get in a rhythm, and that's what I did. And then William there, he was just really fast on entry. He was just able to enter a lane higher, or half a lane higher on the top there than I was. So he was just killing me on entry there, and I just really, I mean, I just don't have the skill to enter on the top like that. I'm more conservative. I kind of, you know, get the car set and back off and then get back on it, and it was working. But I mean, Bart was just a little faster. I think it just kind of played into my favor there. Kind of tried the middle, but yeah, I mean, we'll definitely take it. You know, hopefully next week we get a little more cars, but yeah, definitely take a win tonight for sure.
All right. All right, well, so we'll see how it goes in the big blocks then.
Yeah, Pro Lakes, you mean.
So, congrats and good luck.
Thank you, sir.
All right, there we go. Now we got the sound back the way it should have been. I don't know why it was goofed up before, but it was. Hey now, why are you over here now? All right. So we look forward to seeing what comes about in the big blocks. Thank you all for watching so far. We'll be back after these short messages.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a bit of a
hiatus, so let's get. Tonight we'll be talking about it.
these dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. In the hospital 8 months, and that got really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a bit of a
hiatus, so let's get. Tonight we talked about it.
dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. In the hospital 8 months, and it got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they've done for me. This last Sunday I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists.
Yeah, why?
It's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere.
All right.
Is the reason.
I was always told 8:30.
No, there's only 6 of us. We've been in here for 10 minutes, and that's all you're going to get. Let's go racing.
Alrighty, sounds good.
Thank you, brother.
No problem. Alright, got word. We are getting ready for racing once again here at Fairbury. Going a little bit ahead of time here, so normally I'm told, here behind the scenes, usually I'm told 8:30 is the green flag for the Pro Late models. I guess since there's only 6 of them, they're going to get it kicked off a little sooner. That's qualifying underway. You're sitting there watching Trevor Garou. Everybody's qualified except for Watson. Sam Bachman in that 007, your quickest. Your grid for tonight. Gonna be here with the Thursday Night Thunder Pro Late models. Got from Regal Reps and Designs. Jason Butterfield out there in the front. Trevor Guru there second. Dean Reynolds third. Sam Bachman fourth. Steve Bixler there in fifth. William Watson there in sixth. Oh, your 6 drivers to take on the Fairbury here tonight. 8 laps here in the here in the heat. Here off the corner, Watson there in second. Bachman there in third. Dean Reynolds there in fourth. Bixler back here in fifth. Jason Butterfield back here in sixth. And I see Bachman trying to get that thing around there on the bottom side of the leadway here. Back in the corner, number 3 and 4. Back out there onto the front stretch, coming across the line. Trevor Guru out there in front, and that's 75T. Everybody doing everything they can here. For some reason now my SDK is going out on my end. Trevor Guru is still your leader here as they come around 3 and 4. Watson there in second. Or out third, actually, as Bachman's there in second. Getting the win here is Trevor Guru, waiting for the results to come in. I see Trevor Guru getting that win. Sam Bachman second, William Watson there third, Dean Reynolds there fourth, Jason Butterfield fifth, and Stephen Bixler back there in sixth. Warm-ups taking place here. Seeing if we can fix our SDK behind the scene here as warm-ups take place. Sometimes that wants to be a little bit of a pain. 75T, I have Trevor Guru out here. 2 minutes to go in warm-ups. Now we got Dean Reynolds out there in that number 79. Bachman out there in that 007. Dean Reynolds there in the 79. Jason Butterfield in the 93. We got that 75 of Bixler. Come down the front stretch. Dean Reynolds there in third. Minute left here. All right, here comes the grid for your feature tonight. Your grid. Trevor Guru out there in front. Sam Bachman there second. William Watson third. Dean Reynolds fourth. Jason Butterfield fifth. Stephen Bixler there in sixth. That is your starting grid tonight. Down here in the corner number 1. As they head here, look out. 3 wide there with Bachman in the middle. Down here through 1 and 2. Heading out here, looking there at the bottom, 24 laps to go. Down through in the corner number 1. Bachman down here to the inside. Trying to hang on to second there with William Watson. Trevor Guru once again out front. He led last race as well in that big block. Dean Reynolds back here in fourth. Jason Butterfield fifth with Stephen Bixler back here in sixth. And that number 75. We got the 75T of Trevor Guru up here in the lead with William Watson there second. Sam Bachman there third. Dean Reynolds fourth. Everybody just kind of single filed out. Now about almost a second gap between everybody as we look through the field. Not a whole lot of anything going on. Butterfield ended up jumping to the pits. 20 laps to go. Guru out there in front. Now they head down here in the corner number 3 and 4. Watson there second. Bachman there third. Dean Reynolds there fourth. As they keep on heading out here. Great job. William Watson there second. Sam Bachman third. Dean Reynolds fourth with Stephen Bixler there in fifth. As they headed on back out here on across the stripe. 18 laps to go for Trevor Guru. As they work out through here, down into the back stretch, down through turn 3 and 4. Watson there in second, Guru there out front. Bachman there getting around, putting Bixler a lap down in the 75. So that's 75T of Trevor Guru out front. Watson there in second, Bachman third. Don't really have anything going on here. Here at Coast to Coast Racing Network. Thank you all for tuning in and watching. And if you're watching over here at Flinker Farm TV, take a look at the description. Whoa, hang on to it. They got that 75 there of Stephen Bixler kind of getting in the way. Here comes now Bachman down there to the inside. As they head off there into the corner, Bachman now has to slide up. You have the spot back there to Watson. Hey, without bumper underneath there. Bachman going underneath. Here they come out of corner number 4. Watson, great job there getting that run off of 4 underneath Bachman. Bachman back here in 3rd. Hey, foul, flip back out there. You see Dean Reynolds working there, trying to give that a whirl there. Trevor Guru out there in front. Watson there 2nd. Bachman there 3rd. Dean Reynolds back here 4th. As they hail down through there. There you see. Here comes Bachman there in 3rd. Watson there in 2nd. Trevor Guru out front. Just putting on the rails here. Got that thing set and just gliding to victory here tonight. Watson there in 2nd. Bachman there in 3rd. As these drivers putting on the show here in the Pro Late models. Putting down the times and everything they need to do to battle it on out the way they need. So it doesn't look like any battles happening out front for the leader. But here in 2nd, they're all over one another here for William Watson, Bachman, and Dean Reynolds. Are all battling at 2nd through 4th, all battling for 2nd and 3rd as it stands, battling for the podiums here. And Bixler and Butterfield are out, so it's just these 4 cars. And I know we're not really catching Guru at the moment, but he's just out front coming after off of 4, or I'm sorry, off of 2. And here comes the rest of them. Reynolds down there to the inside, going to try to get under Bachman. Can he get there? Not quite yet. Down here in the corner, number 1 and 2. 2 laps to go for Guru. Watson there in 2nd, Bachman there 3rd. Reynolds in 4th, but he's looking there on the bottom side. Can he get there? White flag is out. He's there at the back corner. Looking here to see who takes over 3rd spot. Reynolds is there on the bottom side. Bachman up there on the top side. And it's going to be Bachman taking that spot here as he comes across, and Dean Reynolds takes the win and takes 3rd spot. I don't know if Bachman knew that. Well, I don't know about that. That's interesting. Bachman checked up before the line. Dean Reynolds takes 3rd. Getting with the leaders now. Or getting with the winners, I should say. And third place will go to Dean Reynolds. Don't see Dean Reynolds here, so we'll get with 2nd place, William Watts. Oh, there he comes. All right. Good evening, Dean. How's it going?
What's going on, Adam? How you doing?
I'm doing well. How's it going? I mean, you put what went on there that coming to the checkered flag there?
That was me pushing like a mother, and I was gaining on Sam a little bit, and then I threw it in hard going into 3/4 to try to get him underneath, and I pushed all the way to the wall there at the end, and then Sam cut across, and he sits on down to his wheel or whatever, and I got lucky 3rd. So that was Sam's race, but we'll sit here on the podium and we'll talk to you.
I was saying, if he would have just guessed it, he would have been across the line, but instead he hit the brake.
Yeah, no, he said something went wrong, and it is what it is. I mean, you know that sometimes it happens with these. We got to rely on the internet, we got to rely on technology, and sometimes it doesn't work right.
Oh, that is true. I mean, in some ways, we have just as much that can go wrong with our style of racing as real like racers can have with theirs.
Yeah, in a weird way it can, because we have screens that go black, and internets that make you slow up or blink, and then you can get packet loss or whatever. So it is kind of like in real racing, you get flat tires or blow motors, or rear ends can go out and stuff, and we can kind of have a little bit of something that might hinder us as well.
Well, I mean, we can still get blow motors on here. So.
Yeah, I haven't seen anyone do that in a while. I don't know if that's still a thing or not, but, you know, it's funny when you get these young kids that keep on trying to rev their engines, everything in line, and then all of a sudden they blow their engines up. I'm kind of, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, that or, you know, or you're like me who catches the wall a few times and you run that car so hard that it eventually gives out.
Yeah, that's the hard thing about these pro late models. They're really tough to drive, and I don't know why iRacing hasn't fixed it. You go in the corners, and they don't want to turn left, and it really takes a lot of fun in the racing because you're more or less trying to drive the car so it doesn't get into anybody or push across the track to anybody instead of trying to pass the car in front of you. And I think that's why you were getting kind of car counts we're getting, especially on tracks that are tough like here in Fairbury, because I mean, you saw I think every one of us but Trevor had a push during that race, and multiple times pushing where Trevor's just got it down pat. He knows how to run these things and run them right. He runs them very well, and it showed tonight with a dominating win.
Yeah, it definitely comes down to who can rotate the car.
Yes, it does. Oh, I know all about that. You should hear me in my Discord, and there's a lot of four-letter words I say with the car pushes. Like right at the start of the heat, I go into turn one, and I said to the guys, look out, I'm pushing right across the track. And I don't know why iRacing has that. Pro late models used to be one of the funnest cars to drive. That's why we had them on the schedule and everything else, and then they just decided to do something where it makes them push. And I have no idea. You don't see late models push in real life like they do like this. And it just baffles me that they have a car that does this. And it's been a couple seasons now, so I don't know why.
Yeah, it definitely is interesting. And I went to school with a guy who drives late models IRL, so I might have to ask him about that. You know, exactly how difficult are these things to try to get around a racetrack?
I mean, they do grip well on a racetrack, don't get me wrong, but they still turn left. I don't get it, and I don't know what iRacing's thinking and stuff, and it's been hurting leagues that have run pro late models and even super late models, and the car counts have kind of dwindled a little bit. Actually, the limited late models now have kind of been the car of choice, and maybe next season we'll switch to the limited late models so we'll get the car counts up a little bit. And, maybe guys that are not as experienced in late models will want to give them a try, and they'll have some fun racing with them. So we'll see what the Coast to Coast brass wants to do.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what comes forth. It'll be interesting to see what all happens. You got sponsors, shout-outs, anybody you want to thank for getting third tonight?
Yeah, I've got to thank the guys at FDM, of course. Always a lot of fun running with them. Congrats to Trevor. He's been in the podium all night, so he had a really good night. And congrats to Bart on his second. Sam had some good runs too, so it was a lot of fun night. We had some members that couldn't make it tonight, and we only had like 3 or 4 of us with Clay, and normally we have 6 to 8. But real life gets in here in the summer, and then I think you'll see car counts naturally start going up. I know I'm going to be back here a little bit more on Thursdays now because my schedule starts going to weekends and stuff with real life now, so I'll have a little bit more time. But this is only the 3rd time I've raced, I think, in 3 weeks or 3.5 weeks, so we'll get back into it as well.
Alrighty, well, congrats.
Thanks to you, Adam, for sponsoring and doing the telecast.
My pleasure. Congrats, like I said, getting 3rd place tonight, and hopefully we'll see you in more, as you said, as it goes forward.
Yeah, we'll see you next Thursday.
So that was Dean Reynolds, our 3rd place. Now we'll go with William Watson, our 2nd place. Good evening there, Watson. Got another podium on tonight.
Yeah, had to work for that one.
Yeah, you guys were definitely battling it out between 2nd and 4th back there. Guru pretty much had that one wrapped up. Now, I know Dean was complaining a little bit about his car not wanting to rotate a little bit. Take us through, how do you think these cars here on iRacing are, the last couple seasons? Are you struggling getting them to rotate left?
Not on some tracks. Most tracks I don't. I can figure it out. But this one, I didn't figure it out until like the end of the race. But I mean, I had it somewhat dialed in, middle of the race. But I couldn't stay consistent enough to stay up there with Trevor. He would just push every now and then. I don't know if it was like you drove the car into the corner too deep, it wouldn't stay. You had to give him the brakes to get it to slow down enough. I mean,
I feel like it's just the way the track was formed, or the way the bumps are on the track. I found on the bottom right there at the end, was able to gain some ground, but it was too late.
Yeah, I think honestly some of it can be as just your entrance angle too could play a heck of a lot into it.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much. Getting too much speed in the corner, letting off the gas too soon, or too late. You gotta hit your marks just right. Stay consistent with it, but it was just too hard to stay consistent.
So I mean, you had a good night of racing there. I think 2 out of the 3 podiums there for you got into second place both times.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good night of racing.
And oh yeah, that's right. You won the 358. So you had a great night there.
Yeah, it's great. I can't complain about it. Just have to improve from here.
All right. Well, you got sponsor shout-outs. Anybody you want to thank for your great night of racing and getting second place here in the Pro Late Models?
Yeah, teammates at FTM, FFTV Shout-outs, TikTok Performance, TikToks.com, Dean Dirt Car Series, Vortex Graphics for the Wraps, Mega TV, Coast Racing, you for broadcast.
Alrighty, our pleasure, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Alright, sounds good.
Alrighty. Have a great night there, Watson.
You too.
Alright, that was our second place finisher. Now we'll get with our first place finisher, Trevor Garou. Good evening, Trevor. 2 in a row.
Yes, sir.
So you got 2 wins and a third on the night. You yourself had a great night here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely super stoked. Can't complain with 2 wins and a third place. It's definitely a good night. I like this track. I enjoy Fairbury. I wish we had 25 or 30 cars to make it even that much better. But it is what it is.
Well, I know Dean was saying that the car counts could be down because of the modeling that iRacing has right now for the Pro Late Models, or the late models in general.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with that, but I mean, to each their own, right? It's some people just don't like a certain car, and some people do. That's just the way it goes. But I know there's a big, I know a lot of people have an issue with getting these things to rotate, especially on a bull ring like this. It's with the high banking and stuff too. It's when you're trying to run the bottom, I understand it can be tough to get this thing to turn on the bottom, middle, or wherever. I personally don't have that issue very much. I mean, every now and then I'll definitely get a push, but I don't know. I have so many laps under my belt in these cars. I just know how to fight it, I guess you could say. But yeah, like I said, it's I hope C2C sticks with these things. Personally, not a fan of limited late models, but I mean, if that's what they decide to do, then that's what they decide to do. Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, we could also try other routes, maybe get more advertising out there some way also for Coast to Coast to try to let people know, hey, come join us on Thursdays for our Thursday Night Thunder type of thing.
Yeah, for sure. And I know there's definitely guys out there that just haven't been able to race much because they're racing in real life that do enjoy the Pro Late models that would like to see them go, but I'm sure they can figure something out and make everybody happy, and that's what it's all about. So it's definitely a good night, good racing, but like I said, just kind of wish we had some more people out here.
Alrighty, well, like we said, congrats there, and we look forward to seeing more here tonight, or seeing you more in the future here on Thursday nights, as you had a great night there. You got sponsor shout-outs? Anybody you want to thank for your win here tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Just got to thank, first and foremost, everybody at Full Throttle Motorsports. Wouldn't be where I'm at without those guys. I just feel very confident right now, and that's, you know, those guys help that a lot. When you have bad streaks and whatnot, those guys are super good at cheering you up, and just, they got their own ways to help you out and whatnot. So thanks to those guys. Really appreciate everything they do. Thank you, Flieger, for getting this stuff broadcasted for us. Thanks everyone at C2C. Thank Dean Reynolds with the Super Dirt Car Series, Lampton Diesel Specialist, JRB Designs, Vertex Graphics, Expert Installation, Sam Maconda Setups. I'm missing people, but yeah, Swan Speed Shop, and yeah, everyone who makes this stuff possible. We really appreciate it.
All right, well, our pleasure here to put this show on, and hopefully we will see in the future, as the winter months, as you said, get rolling here. Hopefully we'll see bigger car counts come in, and we'll see what next season has to offer here at Coast to Coast.
Yeah, you definitely will. It's just, I've been in this league for a little bit, and that's usually how it goes with the summer months. It's summer, guys are out doing stuff and doing real racing and whatnot, so I'm sure next season, and as we get into the fall and winter, car counts will be back up. But yeah.
Alrighty, well, congrats on getting that win here tonight, and we'll see you next Thursday.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, so that was Trevor Guru, our winner here tonight. And we'll go ahead and get our feature results here so you can see everybody's finishing position. Trevor Guru getting the win. William Watson second. Dean Reynolds third. Sam Bachman fourth. Stephen Bixler there fifth. Jason Butterfield will be in sixth. These guys put on a show here. Hopefully we will get more as we get things going forward. If you want more information about these series, I know at Flicker Farm TV on YouTube, we have in our descriptions, starting now, we have links to Coast, FMA, and the other ones we broadcast to, and Coast Racing Network here on YouTube as well. Love bringing you all your dirt track action, or rather, all your Coast racing action here. I believe it's 4 or 5 nights a week. I'm not exactly sure. So be sure to like and subscribe. Coast Racing Network to get your fill of racing action. Thank you all for watching tonight, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.
Thank you.